when I followed some of the things as I understood them, the thought came up that this might be a dream, that you might be a dream, everybody else might be a dream, coming up in my awareness.
Yeah, you're right, it might be.
It might be.
We can't be sure.
I can't be sure. Well,
yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
You're right.
Please let me be this awareness that's somewhere around, connected to me, be connected to all awareness. Or your awareness, or somebody else's awareness. How could I be sure that God exists? Maybe. It's a way of saying it, but do you understand what I mean?
Yes, yes. You're absolutely right in saying that this might be a dream.
Yeah.
Very
good dream. I like the
dream. Sometimes a good
right
dream
now.
And sometimes not so good.
Right
but
now.
If you want me to assure you that it's not a dream, I'm afraid I'm going to disappoint you, because I can't assure you that it's not a dream. None of us can be sure.
No, okay.
Because when we have a dream, what we call a real dream at night, during the dream itself, we feel that it is a waking state.
Yeah.
And the waking state that we feel that we are in the dream, feels every bit as real as the waking state we feel that we are in the so-called waking state. So we can't be sure. So what can we be sure of? If we want to, if we were going to start from scratch, with no ideas about anything, not knowing anything at all, having no idea whether this was a waking state or a dream state or a hallucination, not knowing whether there is something called God or not knowing that I'm a person or a woman or a man, if we were to start from scratch and to go very slowly, we'd want to start with something that we knew for absolute certain was true. Yeah? You wouldn't want to start with a belief, because if you start with a belief, everything that followed would depend on that belief. And if that belief turned out one day to be untrue, then everything you had invested your life in would be untrue. So what are we going to start with?
Awareness.
We have to start with what we are absolutely certain of. What are you certain of?
I experience. Oh, experience is here.
There is experience.
Yeah.
We may have no idea what experience is. This could be made out of matter, it could be made out of mind, it could be made out of something else. But we know that there is experience. Experience is. Therefore there is existence, there is being. Because experience is. Yes? We can be absolutely certain. Something, let's just call it something, is. There is being. What else can we be sure of?
Nothing else.
No, there's a little bit more. How can you be so sure that there is being, that there is existence, that there is something? How can you be so sure?
Something around inside me is feeling.
Oh, no, you don't know about inside you. No. Then you're going off into beliefs.
Somebody is feeling it.
No, somebody might be a dream.
Okay. It is felt.
It is known.
It is known,
yeah. The reason you can say there is being is because you know it.
Yeah.
Being is known. Otherwise, if it wasn't known or experienced, you couldn't assert it. So there is being, but there is also the knowing of being. What is it that knows being? What is it that knows there is something?
Well, I can't find it. It's.
Okay, yeah. So we've said there is experience, there is being.
Yeah.
And this being is known. I know there is existence. Yeah? So there is knowing. In other words, this knowing is. This knowing has being. It is. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, are there two different kinds of being? The being that belongs to this knowing, and the being that we know exists?
No, it's the same.
It's the same. So this being knows itself. It's not known by another being. Yes? These are the first two things we can say for absolute certain about our experience. Something is, something exists, there is existence, and that existence is known, and it is not known by anything other than itself. It is self-aware. Being is self-aware. And that is called I. So, what else do you know for absolute certain?
Nothing else.
Okay. Is there anything, go to this experience of the knowing of being, and do you find any limits there?
No.
Does this being that you know, does it ever cease? Have you ever experienced the absence of being?
Actually not, but sometimes I feel it's clouded. Like sometimes I kind of wake up and say, oh, where were I the last 5 minutes? I was completely, or not completely, but 95% absorbed in some kind of thoughts or feelings. And I noticed
yes, but
it
if there were thoughts and feelings, you must have been aware of them.
Yeah, but they were.
So
it was like
you awareness can't have been absent. If there were thoughts and feelings present, okay, you might think I was lost in them.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, if there were thoughts and feelings present, you were aware of them.
Yeah.
So I'm not asking you about the thoughts and feelings. I want to know about yourself, you awareness. Have you ever disappeared? Have you ever experienced your own absence?
Well, then I wouldn't experience it. No. So
what would experience it?
No.
You couldn't experience it.
No. So, yeah.
So what becomes of your belief, or rather thought's belief, that I was born? Or I am going to die? That's what thought thinks about awareness.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
No, but you are sure that you've never experienced your own disappearance. You awareness have never experienced the absence of yourself.
As far as I remember it, yeah.
But don't go into memory, just go to your experience. Could you have the experience of the disappearance of awareness? As you rightly said before, what would have that experience? What would know it?
Well, yeah.
Nobody has ever had the experience of the absence of awareness, either in deep sleep or unconsciousness or death. And nobody has ever had the experience of the appearance of awareness. Because what would be there to witness this appearance? Something would have to be there to say, oh look, there comes awareness. What would that something be? That witnessing something, that knowing something? It would have to have two qualities. It would have to be present and aware. It would be awareness. So nobody has ever experienced the appearance of themselves, that is the appearance of awareness. In other words, nobody has ever experienced the birth or the death of awareness. Why do we believe that what I am was born and will die? When nobody has ever had that experience.
Well, we shouldn't believe. We couldn't believe it. It would just be a religion.
It's a religion.
Yeah.
It's a religion.
Yeah.
It's a religion, and the primary belief of this world religion is I, awareness, am identical to the body. That is the world religion that everybody, it's the real world religion, whether you're Christians or Muslims or Jews or whatever. It's the basic religion that we all subscribe to. I, awareness, am identical to the body. The body appears and disappears, and because I am identical to it, I appear and disappear. When the body grows old, I grow old. When the body gets sick, I get sick. When the body dies, I die. But that's only because we believe that what I am, awareness, is identical to the body. That's the world religion. But just one simple look at your experience makes it obvious that what you are is not identical to the body. The body we know through sensations and perceptions. It's like saying that the screen is identical to the image. It's not. The images come and go. All sensations and perceptions come and go, but you don't come and go. You, this simple, aware being, this being that is aware of itself. So if you take that thought which comes from your experience and you really ponder it, make it your own. This belief, and in time the feeling that I am identical to the body, will gradually, in most cases, fall away. The other thing we can be certain of is that in this simple knowing of our own being, or its knowing of itself, there can be no disturbance or lack. It's like saying there can be no disturbance in empty space prior to the arising of an object. Empty space is innately peaceful. Yeah? Empty space itself cannot be agitated. The objects that appear in that space can be agitated. We could all now get up and start moving or dancing, but the space, in other words, these bodies could become agitated, but the space itself cannot be agitated. So the knowing of your own being is like that. It's, in that sense, it's like an empty space. It is undisturbable. And hence its nature is peace. Its nature is peace. It's not sometimes peaceful and sometimes agitated. Its nature is peace. Likewise, in empty space there's no lack. Empty space never needs anything. An object might need something, but the space itself, prior to the arising of the object, there's no lack in it, because there's nothing in itself other than itself, which could either harm it or fulfill it. It's just content resting in the knowing of its own being. And that's why it's said that happiness or fulfillment or absence of lack is its nature. So these are the three qualities that are inherent in what we essentially are. I am. I know that I am. And that knowing of my own being is inherently without disturbance or agitation, and without lack. In other words, its nature is happiness.